Hello, and welcome to Max Out Mappedin. I'm your host, Michael. Great to have you back. Today, we're diving into analytics, why they matter, and how you can use a map for them. Today, I brought my good friend, Jere, who I don't quite know the last name. Can you help me pronounce it?
I will. We talk so much, we're on first name basis. So, my name is Jere Suikkila, and I'm Mappedin. I help our customers get more out of the map, going deeper into the solutions beyond wayfinding and what you can do with it afterwards, because we have extensive developer tools and capabilities to do so many more things with the map.
Which is exciting. And I'll say I've pulled you into a call or two, maybe at most a day. And I would say you've been mapped in what, 3-4 years at
Four and
this
a half
point?
at this point, yeah.
So many calls. And one of the things that I have seen, and you've by proxy been on a lot of the calls, the tone and what people are caring about, specific to Mappedin, specific to just like general venue experience, has shifted into more of the how and the why. Like, how are people navigating the spaces? Why are they doing what they are doing within there? And specifically, venues are starting to want to understand like the entire journey and what it is and even why they're using specific pieces of technology. And my question to you is, are you seeing that? But also, what are your thoughts on the how and the why?
Yeah, absolutely. If you think about it, the wayfinding is a natural thing. Where am I? How do I get to the specific store that I'm looking for at a mall or a different type of venue, right? But then once you have that capability, you're now offering those features and helping your customers find their way. Now you start thinking deeper and you go like, all right, I know what are the things that people are looking for. Where are they wanting to go? What do they do when they get here, right? So now you start thinking deeper, and what are the next 2, 3 levels deeper of how can I help my customers have a better time at my venue? Because there's so much more that you can do once you understand better, and that's where the map comes in. The map that's not just a wayfinding application, but it is a map that's almost like a command center for everything that's happening at your venue.
Absolutely. And I would argue as well, like sessions, like are people loading the map? Are people using the map itself? Was important. I would say is not as important right now because it's an expectation. Like, yes, people should be using it. I know this as a fact. They are. But like that's something to show you guys. What is now important is what are people intending to go and do? Are they at their home, like on a desktop? Are they on a phone? Or is it more within the discovery side of things? They know they're hungry. They just don't know where to go. And using this data and this information to make business decisions, or at least gain a better understanding of your key demographic and where it is they're going.
You're absolutely right. While you're helping your customers find their way or operate in your venue, that also helps you understand much more what's happening there. So once you start understanding your venue and your customers, what were the locations that they were close by when they search for coffee, for example? Why are they searching coffee at this specific directory in this wing of the mall instead of over there on the other side? Does that bring you more opportunity, more understanding, and basically ability to offer a better experience than to people who are leasing at your mall as well?
Perfect. And I want to dive into that because, yes, it's cool to know that at this location, someone searched for coffee and over, a month, 1,000 people search for coffee. Why is that important?
Right. Well, knowing what your customers are searching for gives you the ability to target them. And I'm not talking about, targeting ads. Hey, you search for coffee. Here's, 10% off of coffee. But actually, this is an old trope, but it's still true. Location, location, location. You're laughing before I even
Yep.
say it because you know what's coming. And where we are right now is it's been so true and it's always been possible to do this outdoors, right?
Yep.
There's been tools for years to do this kind of optimizations outdoors and analyzing what is the right location. And now with Mappedin and the tools that we make available, you make the map and then you understand your space, you start overlaying all this data on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
What is the right place for the coffee shop?
Mm-hmm.
That's an insight that you can gain.
Absolutely. And you can even go one step further and start to use this information, coffee shop, in your leasing conversations, potentially having conversations with a coffee vendor or potential vendor. It's probably pretty powerful to know exactly where people are searching for coffee, as an example. There's also operational use cases. But what I want to dig into is, yes, Mappedin has great analytics. Yes, you can find out the journey and what people are searching for. The map itself is something to unlock as well on other data, like data that you have existing and you never thought to put it on said map.
That's right, because as humans we're visual beings, and we can put numbers in a spreadsheet all day, and we just end up getting fatigued. Like we stare at the numbers and looking for something, and nowadays we got AI tools and we got analytics and insights that you can all combine, but we're still visual beings, so we need to visualize that thing. It's not about that bar chart or what time things are happening, but where. And this really comes down to visualizing that. Companies have multiple types of different data sets about their indoor venues, that they know where things are or where things are happening. And it goes beyond wayfinding use case as well into operational side of things, where you can think about security or different types of things. And now you have the map as a context, and all of a sudden you see the difference.
Yep.
I can keep saying that in the A wing or B wing of, there's a big difference in the number of how many times the doors are open or how many people walk past a certain point. But once you start seeing it, now you can start optimizing the space.
Yep. So this AI thing, I've never heard of it. It's in the news. I joke, of course. You've obviously used it a lot in day-to-day, personal, professional. What's either a hot take or a key example of how you've been able to use AI for the data to help with analytics, either for a customer or your personal use specific to a map?
Right. I think what these AI tools, and I'm talking about the generative type of AI, all that, speaking, whether it's typing or actually speaking like this to a computer and getting a response back that is something that, it's actually going a little bit deeper than a Google search. Hey, give me a pages about this topic, but it actually tries to find you an answer. And there the key is really to connecting it to the right pieces of data.
Oh.
And now you start to be able to query with natural language and get insights from your data. And again, the mapping angle. So you put all of that on top of the map, because the way these tools are designed, they are made for integrations.
Yep.
By itself, yeah, I mean, like a large language model, a ChatGPT, it's a nice toy, right? And maybe it can tell you some facts that may or may not be true. But once you start combining that with tools, data lakes, data warehouses like Google BigQuery or other analytics providers that you might have, and then you start overlaying that information again on a map. So you start connecting it to multiple different data sources and different ways of displaying that data automatically. So that sounds crazy, right? Like, well, I might have a team of people who can already do that. Now, the thing that changes here is the speed of rapid prototyping with AI, right? You still need the human intelligence to understand what you're doing. It's like a calculator. You need to know what numbers to punch in to do the right calculation. But you're able to prototype things a lot faster. So let's say you have a big data set, you want to visualize it on a map. You can ask one of these AI tools to build you that visualization. It's very custom. You need it for one purpose only. You need it maybe once. And you just set the AI to try to find that answer for you. And then you go back to doing something else and you return to it when it's there. And that's the way I've been working with a lot of these AI tools. And look, I love them. The way they allow me to build things fast and explore options. Because they're not always correct. They're not always perfect. But what they give you is kind of that optionality and the ability to try multiple different things at the same time. So that makes it a lot faster to dig into some of these harder problems. Let's say typically you would have needed somebody to write a complex SQL query to get the right data and then get somebody to visualize that on a map and have the right tools and everything in place. Right now, something like Claude Desktop or ChatGPT can connect to all these data sources you have and then even render it on top of a map.
which I think is cool. And also paired with that, even within our maybe new to come tools, but being able to query or search for specific, you know, pieces of information on top of a map through a search bar, but somewhere that's easy enough to where you don't need a development degree. Like anyone can do it. And the thought I have, you know, potentially in this is like giving this tool to a leasing agent in operations and being able to, you know, query or say, where are people searching for a coffee? Not having it pre-planned, but in a live conversation like this with, you know, a potential coffee vendor or on the operations, where is the emergency shut-off water valve? And being able to talk to the plumber that's on site and you don't actually know, kind of thing. So having this information easily at your disposal, where anyone can use it and anyone can pull that information.
100%. It supercharges subject matter experts to use the data that's available to them in much better ways, because some of the hard parts, like dealing with the data and querying it and displaying it on top of map, then required a different type of expert before.
Yep.
And now some of that, and that's kind of maybe the hot take there, is that it is very useful when you know what you're doing, because it makes it much faster for you to try out these things and visualize things, like you said, even live. And I've built this a couple of times now where, you know, a chat bot can drive the map and what's on top of the map, and it is very much demoable. You can do it a voice or a chat, and it changes the data, that what's happening on the map. Like you said, whether it's fire hydrants or whether it's leasing information on the spot, and then visualize the coffee searches on top of that. And you just try that as a natural part of the conversation when you're, let's say, having a leasing conversation about a specific location.
Yep. Completely agree. So pivoting slightly on this, we're talking, you know, the AI, future state, what you can currently do. One thing I do want to talk through is, you know, the analytics we can gather. Search, what are people intending to do? Like, what is my intention to go on site and potentially go shopping for or visit? Or discovery, I am hungry and I want to go to X, Y, and Z. Those pieces of information are obviously valuable and important. What's your take on why they're important for venue owners today? Like, if that's, you know, AI aside and all the other fantastic products to come, what can they use that information, or how can they use that information?
Yeah, I mean, there's the basic level, just knowing what people are searching for, and then being able to give it to people in different ways, making it easier. Sometimes, you know, different types of venues, you want to have signage or you want to have things like that. So then you help people guide their way. But it really comes down to then, I think, the operational side of things. That's where I would always take all of this data into the operational side, because that once you start having better, more efficient, and running operations on your site, now that it will also increase the wayfinding experience, right?
Yep. And it's a good point. And you touched on signage, and I want to dig into that a little. Like, yes, everyone should have a map on omnichannel, like web, mobile, signage. Signage is always the one in my conversations. It's a higher barrier to entry because there is hardware we can help. There's just different, you have to install it, wire, no wire, like internet, all that kind of stuff. What I want to point on, though, is why it's important. The key point that I always get is, yes, it's good for individual behavior. Like, you can give someone a tool while on site to go ahead and behave how they want and get to where they need to be. Why is it important on the analytics side to actually have the signage?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. For me, the signage is a powerful extension of what you can do. So signage is always in the right place. Signage is also a large screen. When nobody's touching it, display something else. I mean, ads are, and they're already running ads. But why is it not? You know, some places it's not a multi-purpose screen, so you cannot go touch it and then use it for wayfinding, right? So signage is such a versatile tool for venues such as malls,
Yep.
stadiums, even further to airports, where they can serve multiple purposes, and then you get to customize that experience for the people on your site, right? That is something that now you own an extra screen where you can tell people what to do, or what is available on your site. And here's the thing: people are not going to be walking around the mall with the phone on the map. They're not going to be looking at the map. The phone will be in their hand. I guarantee they're doing messaging. They're
Yep.
trying to do something else. They're not wanting to look at the map
I
while they're
agree.
going. They want to have a look on the big screen, which way to go, search for it, start heading that way, and then along the way, maybe they'll check map once or twice, or they start exploring the venue, right? So the signage is there to help people
Yep.
because the mobile phone is actually used for a lot of different things, and it's not that people are walking with a phone in front of their face through the venue.
Which I think is a full-on other conversation, which we'll get to in the next episode. It is a very good point because the totem, digital signage, digital experience, differently called in different countries, is an extension of what you're already producing, but you have eyeballs because it's there on site. They are there on site. Usage is important because they are about to spend money in whatever venue type, and it is a tool to help them get there. The analytics against it is extremely valuable because someone was on site searching for this at this specific time, and that's important. And going into the ad side of things or the digital out of home or whatever it is you are curating on that, you're helping to tell the story with someone that is on site, and you can help enhance the dwell time, enhance the repeat visits, enhance the overall experience, or the likelihood of them going to purchase or have their fun within whatever it might be.
Right. And it does really bring everything together now as well. There are so many things that these screens can do. They're versatile, and then tying that back to the analytics side of things, you know very much where this event happened and what followed, what happened afterwards, right? Did somebody look for directions to a store? Is there a world where you see these directories and going way beyond the map, things like product search or something like that?
Yes, I would say so. Right now, the key thing, and analytics are showing all this, is using a digital signage, yes, for ads, but giving people experiences within the software for the map, but also starting to think about what people care about at that venue. And it's a really good question because analytics helps to drive all this. And is it transit times? Because in some countries, they just transit everywhere. So it's really good to know transit schedule, transit times. There are, yes, product searches, which just come from the data, being able to search for products as opposed to specific stores to help within that experience. There are like the weather, you can go ahead and do movie times. Really, on this, all analytics driven and all pulled from data. It's just surfing what you have existing and giving that data a way to surface to the consumer, basically.
To the consumer, and it really is about the right information at the right time.
Yep.
Because you know where they are in place. You know what's happening at your venue. You've configured everything correctly so that you're driving things that are happening. Christmas is coming.
Yep.
People are going to be
What?
looking. Yeah, that time of the year.
Yeah.
People are going to be looking for the Santa Claus. I mean, that is a big tradition, right?
Yep.
So do you see a spike in Santa Claus searches during Christmas holidays?
I will say yes. Go with all three of my kids. They cried every single time. It's a tradition. We do try to go to a different mall every time just for like an added experience. And I would even say within the holiday season, just because it is very, timely, one of my frustrations has always been Christmas shopping. My kid wants the lovable hugging hamster or whatever it might be, and he needs to have it. And I don't know what it is because he saw it on a commercial on YouTube, and I have no idea what it is. but I need to get it. So,
And you need to get it fast because you
oh
got
yeah,
3 other things to do
three other
and
kids.
not any time. Yeah, exactly. Not much time to do all of it, right?
Exactly. I am intent. I know, like, if someone were to give me this, money is theirs. I actually don't care the price or whatever. It's like I need to. I can't do like the Amazon or the shipments because he is very nosy within the gifts, and that'll be open and ruin certain surprises. So I need to sneak off. I need to know exactly where it is, exactly what store to go, and I'm not much of a window shopper during the holiday season.
Mhm.
Where to park, get in and out as fast as humanly possible.
Right. And that's where the map also becomes powerful. It's the integrations and real time information
Mm-hmm.
that is provided by there. And all of that can be driven, like you mentioned before. I want to highlight this point
Yep.
is the analytics because you understand your venue now in a very, very different way.
Yep.
You could even tell people where to park because you know where the
Oh, that's
hotspots
cool.
are, right? So and you can do things like, hey, park here because we know you're going for that Labubu, right? So this is
boo boos.
that's right. So you can enhance the experience based on real time analytics as well, right?
Yep.
So you can layer on all these things, and it's the flip side of the coin. They help each other
Yep.
grow.
I would say that's the parking is a nightmare in my mind always. Knowing the space availability on the map so I know exactly where to park or where is a high risk or a lower risk to park is going to enhance. And it really digs into like, yes, the analytics, yes, the data, and being able to surface it on the map. But really, it's like, what data do you have available, either on the analytics side or the potential integration side, and marrying the two, either in an internal environment
That's right.
or surfacing it onto the consumer side to give them the added benefit of data you already have.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Once you have it and you integrate it in the right place, now it's serving again. It's providing and that additional experience and that additional insight for your back
I'm
end.
sold.
You're sold.
I need to get some Labubus and this hamster toy.
So going back to analytics there. What do you see as the ultimate goal? Why do people care about analytics?
It's a good question. I would say, like, analytics are important, yes, for usage and validation that people are using the stack. I know it. They have to see it. That's like a common song and dance. Like, I would say in this day and age, more and more people are looking to enhance the experience. And really, it's to give people better information. And there's a couple of examples. Like, for one, in Stadium Land, like a common theme I'm seeing is cool, people have bought the ticket. Beforehand, it was done. Like, they did their job. Cool, someone is going on site. Now, the job is not done when someone buys a ticket to the game. Like, there needs to be this added experience, and you can only gather this through the analytics of like, what do people care about? Is it the beverages? Is it the local food vendors? Is it vegan only, et cetera, et cetera? So you can know how to curate that experience. The same would be for malls as well. They're looking to use more information in a more competitive environment. I think that's specifically a key point is things are more competitive now than ever. Like people are looking to get the upper edge and analytics is going to give them that. More specifically either on the leasing side, operation side, the experience side, the consumer specifically, as they should be, is looking for more with what they're going to be spending, if that makes sense. Like the bar for value has gone up and people are expecting more. And the venues themselves need to deliver. The tricky part is the what to deliver isn't well known. And analytics can help shift that through the journey, through their existing data sets or pieces of analytics, visualize in one key source to understand truly what is going on in the property. Because without it, people are blind.
Right, and you become this organization that's more proactive and able to plan ahead of time, knowing what is going on, and especially once you do this over longer periods of time, you can see you understand how things change over time. It's been said 80% of the highway traffic is predictable. It happens at the same time. uh, I was
True.
in traffic this morning. I knew it was going to happen, right? So you know what things are happening in your venue, and you visualize it correctly, and you start thinking about where to place a pop-up store, for example.
Oh,
You know,
that's cool.
you start thinking about all these things once you start visualizing. You're like, otherwise you have a bunch of hypotheses,
Yep.
right? You're like, I think people go that way, and I think that could be a good place. But how about letting the data drive a little bit of
Yep.
these decisions? And with data-driven decisions, of course, it's been possible with numbers and stuff like
Yep.
that. But we're such visual beings. You know, we've had maps for
Yep.
thousands of years to help us visualize. Where are we going and what are we doing? Where are the routes that we want to take and maybe not. Where are the mountains and the seas. So in order for us to really quickly communicate location-based information, you need to have that location-based detail in there as well. It cannot stop at the door when you go in the mall and now you have a heat map on top of a gray blob. No,
Yep.
it has to have the right level of detail, and that's what Mappedin, of course, provides.
See, that's a very interesting point because yes, I would agree. I also do think it's helping with validating data decision data decisions. And a key example I have, like one of my large clients in Asia, they were looking to dive into experiential shopping. So being able to put up like pop up experiences for their venue, and this one specifically was a Baby Shark like play place, like just in the middle of the mall in the basement. It was very cool. I actually went there and I was well impressed. And when I went there, it was a Tuesday and it was packed. It was just like a Tuesday morning at whatever. It was packed. Kids running around. My kids would have loved it. The key point, though, is yes, there are people there and like you have footfall counters and all of that. What they used our maps for, and specifically the analytics, was to see are people searching for this because that's intent. People of those, however many footfall, there are X amount of people that are intending to go to this.
Yep.
And through the analytics, they actually saw that for that week that it was like on site, 60% of their search queries were specifically Baby Shark. They have no other Baby Shark within the venue. So they know of that however many queries there were, 60% of the people went onto that on site for that specific exhibit.
That's an incredible insight. Now you know that's why people were there. It
And
was
you
not
should
an
be
accident.
repeating it.
Right.
It's validating your bet.
Right. And that is nothing drives value than more than knowing.
Yep.
Because we can keep guessing and a lot of us do really good job because we're good at our jobs and we know what drives these things. Somebody designed this before knowing exactly how well it's going to work.
Yep.
But now they know exactly how well it did, and now they have the analytics to prove it as well as to compare to the next one, so they can plan all of this ahead of time.
Yep.
And prove it, and of course driving additional revenue through.
Yep. Otherwise, it's a vibe check, which is all great and like I think, but it's an easier conversation for a company at large. We did this, increased by this, and this, and these parameters. If we do 4 more, we should be seeing the same one. If it doesn't happen, we know, or we can start to think about why it's not working. But more specifically, you've got benchmark data. You can start to plan and tweak things to see and how to make it better and better and better.
Yeah, and absolutely, and that's where again the other side of the coin really supports this. Where let's say you have those digital signage at your venue or the map, make sure that is available there, to people before they're even searching for it.
Yep.
Make sure that it's very visible because that's what Mappedin provides is this customization of screens and making sure that the relevant information is available there.
Yep.
And it is how you drive your business, really.
Yep. Mappedin plug. But it's just it's giving information and analytics in the source and in the way people want it. Web, mobile, digital signage, AI chat. Like there's a myriad of different ways to do it. It's doing it. And yes, it's a lot. It's a lot to get started. Pick the path. We can help. I have seen it all before. But people really need to get started.
Yeah. And look, it's not as hard to get started as people think. Map making has changed, and indoor maps, we made some leaps and bounds in the past few years, how easy it is to get started and do these projects and deliver these maps plus, I would say. because it really matters what the data is on top of the map. So yeah, you have wayfinding experience, pulling in data, but then putting in leasing information on top of your map.
Yep.
That is so easy today, and getting started is really fast and doing quick things. I of course work with a lot of AI tools, so I always think about those. But like even going very custom, right? So right
Yeah.
now, even small teams can make big leaps because of the foundational technology that Mappedin provides, with map making technology, and then the developer tools to build on top of it. So it is a fully fledged mapping SDK, which means it's not just for that wayfinding use case. It is also for the data visualization. And that's where it becomes really, really powerful, because you can have multiple teams within a company wanting to visualize different things.
Hmm.
And you have a couple of, now your data analyst, for example, can use Mappedin to visualize that stuff, whether it's inside Power BI or Tableau or whatever the toolkits that you have in your company. You can always pull in Mappedin to enrich your visualizations.
Yep. It's the foundation. Like you wouldn't be able to skyscraper on like a cracked foundation. Like you now have an asset, a digital asset, easy to maintain, easy to manage. Yes. Create, done, easy. But you have this asset, and what most people think of, and like I'm guilty of this, it's what it's thought of. Map equals wayfinding. Yes. But that's such a small use case comparative to, I would even just say guest experience or on site experience. Wayfinding, discovery, intent, like all of this is a map experience for the consumer. And then going towards what you had mentioned is analytics, dashboard analytics, operations, security, leasing, asset tracking. It's all part of a platform, and it's all the flexibility with actually a solid foundation to be able to do what you need
Yeah,
when you need it.
100%. And it just comes from the fact that when you and I use maps today, it's finding where the traffic is on our way to home
Yep.
or wherever we're going. So that is kind of the first thing that people think about when they think about maps. um, and I think it's time we really, really start changing that in this conversation, because that is the starting point for a lot of
Hmm.
the use cases that we have for the maps. But the other side, there's so much you can do with them.
Hmm.
I think possibilities are endless.
Yep.
I've seen people build games on top of these maps,
Hmm.
right?
I have
Uh,
to.
Maybe that's part of the guest experience, I don't know. Um, but the key there is all the different things that you do with the maps also provide you more information and more data than you can then, I was mentioning before with the AI tools, and you store that data
Hmm.
and information, and you piece it together into some actionable insights that help you take the most out of your space,
Yep.
because it is a large capital asset that you have, and you want to maximize the return on that investment.
Absolutely. And just give people a good experience, increase the dwell time, increase the return visits, and ultimately just like return on investment, get the return on investment for this property, but make sure it's something of note. Like it's notable to people visiting. They remember this place. It was a good experience. They'll come back, and it leaves a fond memory. Like business work aside, I think that is important. And being able to have the analytics to kind of almost guess or predict what that experience is going to be for them is powerful.
I agree. So, Michael, I want to ask you about how do how do people know that the wayfinding is valuable?
It's a good point. So there's many different ways, and actually, I'll take a step back. I have an example. So a now client in Europe, uh, during the pre-conversations, they their argument to me was, we know people aren't going to use this map, and we know like it's not going to work. People aren't going to use it. They prefer paper signs, and I'm basically like,
Well, they really
bet.
said that.
Yeah, I'm like, bet it's it's valid. I know it's wrong, but like I need to take them on this journey to show them why this is wrong. Like people are going to use it, and yes, there's a usage analytics, but really what it is okay, fine. Let's get this onto one property. web, totem, directory, whatever it might be, and let's like actually test this out. Let's see, are people going to use this?
Yeah.
You can do marketing to like drive people there, or let's do this blind. Let's just see what shows up.
That's right.
And it worked. And they were floored within the first week. I think there was like it was like between 3,000 and 5,000 hits in the middle of the week. This wasn't even a weekend. This is like a Monday to Friday time frame. So people are using it. But more specifically, they were able to gather like what people are looking for.
That's right. And those are eyeballs that you don't know that are hitting your
They had
paper
no
map.
idea.
You don't know what people are looking for when they look at the paper
Nope.
map. You don't know, like, but once they start searching, hey, where is the Apple store? Now you know that they were looking for something specific.
Yep.
You can see, did they look at the directions? Did they take them with them on their mobile devices? Now you bring the experience to them on a mobile device.
Yep.
You're now with them throughout the whole journey. You can help them. You can do multi-step journeys for them. You can show them the routes from A to B to C to D.
Yep.
There's so much more that you can now see as a result that paper map will never come to you and say, hey, this is how somebody used me.
Yeah.
Right? Paper map is not going to give you that feedback and that confidence that it's actually even useful. You know what I hate about paper maps the worst? When your
Let's hear
venue
it.
changes. When your venue changes, and it does, look, it's so much easier to convert a store from Toys R Us to a Nike store than it is to change the road in front of your store. So, 30% of the stores change
I would
in a
agree.
year.
I would
Are you
agree.
going to print a new map?
They
Man,
do every quarter, 4 times a year.
Okay, but you know what? The digital map is up to date, and
Yep.
I mean every day, and that's where it offers something very unique. It's always up to date, and now you also know that because it's up to date, you know what people are searching for. You know they're finding their destinations, they're finding what they're looking for, and they don't get as frustrated. Look, the benefits are there. The analytics are there to show
Yep.
the usage, and all of that compared to paper, of course, is the old fashioned thing. Compared to that, you don't get any of the feedback.
Oh, absolutely. Like it, obviously they're our client now, but like it showed as I challenged no one's going to use this. Like is there a place for a paper map or a light box? Yes, sure. It serves a different purpose. If you're looking to do general information, food and beverage, things that, might not change enough, or if you just want to have it in parallel to everything else, that is fine. Many of our clients do that as well. The key thing is accurate data, up to date, analytics driven, and more specifically is you're able to understand how people are using these. Like they were floored that 3,000 to 5,000 people, I forget the number, used it within the first week. They were floored that top locations are always going to be Apple Store and restrooms. When you got to go, you got to go. Challenge me. That's usually the top analytics. But
Yeah.
and I forget the exact store. They always thought it'd be like H&M, Zara, but it was this local candy store that was the most sought after location in terms of search queries. And they didn't know that. They thought it was H&M and Zara. And it leads to questioning, which is the important part. Is like, why is this? Is it hard to discover, hard to find? Are they having a wicked cool sale? Is all of a sudden like daddy son, daddy daughter days like more prevalent to go to the
Yeah.
candy store? With this newfound knowledge, they can go and figure that out.
And you know who else wants to know this? That candy store would absolutely love to know that people are looking for them.
Yep.
That gives them the knowledge and the confidence that they're in the right place. Maybe they need
Yep.
to increase a little bit, how to get to them. And one of the ways they can do this, of course, maybe add a promotion to the digital signage, which is harder to do with paper signage.
It is.
And often when I see this paper signage in malls or other type of venues, they have a bunch of digital screens around, but the map is paper.
Yep.
And that's where I would really challenge these venues to look at what would be the benefit of turning one of those digital screens or add a digital screen, which you already have a bunch of them, and make that the map or the venue experience interface
Yep.
instead of that paper map.
Yep.
Because now you just understand where surprising insights like this candy store is more popular than anything else.
Yep.
And that is actionable.
And over time, you can start to understand spikes. So the candy store specifically, I'm starting to remember like specifically why they went viral on TikTok. Excuse me, on TikTok, which led to this massive craze of we need to get whatever it was at the time to this store to do the X, Y, and Z. You can start to understand the trends either as they're happening or about to happen and shift your strategy that day of to help with whatever is going on within the venue.
Right. So you can drive your TikTok addicted customers to do the dances in front of the right store. Make sure that they're only disrupting the area, and not walking through the food court where people are.
Or
having
you
lunch.
can do them with me if you want.
I mean, we could do a
viral.
dance off right now, right? We've done this in the company events. I wonder if it would fit this podcast as well.
Good times. I mean, we could. You want to lose again?
I mean, I'm willing to embarrass myself just to make you look good.
Well, maybe next time.
All right.
I think we're running out of time. So thank you, everyone, for listening in. Thank you, Jere. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Definitely will be having you back. Let us know what questions you have. Anything on the analytics, mapping side, always happy to help. Till next time.